Ricardo Pinto. What a story. And like, this is one
I
of
love
those,
his story.
how do you not love baseball? Because I heard the name Ricardo Pinto and I was like, it sounds really familiar.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that is an old Philly Ricardo Pinto, is it? And sure enough, it was that old bust out Philly Ricardo Pinto. The last time he pitched for the Phillies was 2000. Wait, I have it written down here somewhere.
2019?
Became the where are my notes? I can read.
September 29th. Well, not for the Phillies. I'm sorry. The Rays was 2019.
But for the
Phillies was 2017.
2017. It's the longest stretch in between games for the franchise since Marlon Byrd did it. He was just short of him. So Ricardo Pinto was up with the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs yesterday outside Rochester, New York. The Phillies could not find him a flight. They DFA'd Brogdon.
Insane.
You should have DFA'd Brogdon 8:30 a.m. and been on the horn with Ricardo, old Dickie Beans at 9 a.m. I don't know what they were waiting for there. Couldn't find him a flight from Rochester to Philly in time, so they hired him a car service to ditch the Iron Pigs, come down to the big club. We've done that drive a bunch because we have a couple friends that live up in that general area. That drive is long and it sucks.
Oh, yeah.
So it took Ricardo almost 6 hours to get down. They hit some traffic. He shows up at the stadium in the fourth inning, says hello to Rob Thompson, warms up in the tunnel, threw a couple balls, says hi to the team, and Rob runs out to the bullpen, comes in for a 4-inning, 73-pitch save. Just a really, really cool story. And the reason it was a save opportunity was because he came into the game when it was a save opportunity. Bryce Harper just blew it open and made it a non-save opportunity, but he inherited a save opportunity, closes it out, and gets the save.
I will not be referring to him as DB. I'm going to just call him Ricardo Pinto.
Nope.
But Pinto this story is the epitome of stay ready so you don't have to get ready. You know, it's when your name is called, you're in Rochester, New York, one morning, and then 5.5 hours later, a drive, chaos. His Uber, the driver, also took him to the wrong spot.
Yeah, they dropped him off at Pass and Stowe.
Yeah, like they didn't know where Citizens Bank Park was.
Fans to get in. It's so
Can
funny.
you imagine walking to Citizens Bank Park? And of course, it's raining, so everybody has their ponchos and stuff on. And here comes a guy walking by you, Ricardo Pinto, in like street clothes and sweats. Probably didn't recognize him. Just casually walking with fans into the ballpark.
But
the story is remarkable because he literally found you find yourself showing up 35 minutes after the game even starts. You still warm up. You still have you have a great performance, and he had every excuse already written. If he had went out there and played badly, you could have easily said, "Oh, he was late. He wasn't here this morning. He was in a whole other state this morning." The excuses were there, but Pinto, name called, big moment, stepped up, and I just love the fact that he came in. That's so, in my opinion, like so mature, so like, he didn't even look frazzled. If you hadn't told me that story, there's no way I would even have known any of that happened prior. Because how many of us struggle driving like 30 minutes to work, let alone 5.5 hours to your job?
He was probably pissed off from traffic that he had a little extra
like you
adrenaline.
hit it's raining, it's traffic. And I know even yesterday, and actually today too, when it rains, people act like they don't know how to drive. You're probably in the car like, I got a game to get to, move out the way. There were accidents, there was flooding, all types of stuff. But, for Pinto, who did sign with the Phillies back in 2011, as you mentioned, pitched his final game with the team September 21st, 2017. 6 years, 194 days is insane. And when you talk about the fact that it is his first 4-inning save since 2019 in the big leagues when he was pitching with the Rays, that's the other part of this. This is your first opportunity back. And he was like, I've waited long enough. It's been since September 2019, and I am not letting anything get in my way.
Let's get some thumbs up in here for Dickie Beans.
Darth Pooh is saying, put some respect on his name. Say right. That man's name.
So I texted Bo about this.
I'm not doing it.
I texted Bo last night when I saw him tweet this, and I was just like, damn it, dude. Like, he's Dickie Beans to me now. This is your fault. And he said, I did think it was important to go with Dickie and not Dick Beans. So
why?
It's a better flow, better baseball name flow. If you said Dick Beans.
The man's name is Ricardo. It's not even, it's.
Dickie Beans, just, right? You guys agree. It's got a better baseball flow.
Richard.
Dick Beans would be weird. You would make it weird by going Dick
Well,
Beans.
because
So
it sounds like my brain instantly goes somewhere.
Sounds
gross.
like an STD. Dickie Bean sounds like somebody I would have babysit my children.
It's like I've got the DB.
Yeah.
I've got some DBs.
Old Dickie Beans. Tyler, your thoughts on Dickie Beans?
Other than your ridiculousness, it is
so
your name.
Ridiculous.
I thought he was really sharp yesterday.
Help.
So the splitter was the pitch that obviously kind of put him on the map in the Caribbean series. He was throwing it really, really well in the Caribbean series. And I was curious how it kind of translated to Major League hitting. And I think last night was a really good example of when it's on, it's really sharp because he doesn't throw overly hard.
No.
And the splitter only came in at like 82 to 85-ish. It's not like a heavy, younger Hector Neris splitter where he was throwing that at 87, 88. Even Hector Neris is down to like 83 now. But I thought it was he threw it at really well-timed spots, and he wasn't afraid to throw it in bad counts either. Like he would get down 2-1 and throw the splitter and get guys to chase over top of it. And the splitter is the type of pitch that if it's on and you're throwing it selectively out of the zone, and what I mean by that is like you're not starting it at the shins and having it break down. You're starting it at the knees and having it break down. It becomes an incredibly difficult pitch to hit. And I thought he did a really nice job of mixing it in. He threw a lot of sinker. You know, it was a heavy sinker. It was 92, 93 last night, something along those lines. But the splitter I thought was his best pitch last night, and he threw it really well most of the evening.
His pitch breakdown is fascinating, to your point. So he relies on 5 pitches. And most of the time, when you see a major league pitcher, most of the time, a fastball is the primary pitch. So his goes like this in order of use. Sinker, he throws almost 51% of the time. That's his top pitch. Number 2 is the splitter that Tyler was just talking about at 34.2. Then the sweeper at 11%. Then the slider at 2.7%. And to Tyler's point again, the least frequent thrown pitch he has is his 4-seamer at 1.4% of the time. Dickie Beans ain't about that gas, Renee. Dickie Beans is gonna beat you down.
I actually like beans.
Beans.
I like beans.
We're gonna go with Beans.
I like Beans as a nickname.
Yeah,
I would
Beans?
tolerate that. Yeah, Beans.
Isn't that one of the kids from one of those movies in the 90s?
Yes.
Isn't there one of the kids Beans or Beansy or something?
Yeah.
What is
I can't
that?
remember which one.
What is that?
It's not.
Even Steven?
Beansy.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's definitely.
Or is it? Yeah, I think it's Even Stevens.
Is it?
It's like a chunky kid, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Beans is a good nickname. I know. Yeah.
Dickie Beans ain't about that gas.
Barbara was saying Richard Bean. You know, there's options here. I like Beans.
I'm pretty settled in on Big Dickie Beans, but you guys can do what you want. You're the nickname person, Renee.
Lisa said, I don't care what we call him as long as he's getting batters out. I agree with you on that, Lisa.
He's gonna.
If he keeps throwing the way he is, keep throwing that.
It's a great
Beans
story.
gas.
But Dickie Beans will be gone.
They're good for your heart. The more you throw, the more you're out.
Yeah, it's good. He's only going to be here till April 9th. So enjoy Dickie Beans for the week.
And guys, think about it too. Like as you get older and your fastball velocity dips, you're going to have to do something to stick around. And I think Pinto's done a good job to understand that. And this just, I don't want to take one sample.
1.7% fastball.
Yeah, but
wild.
even think about it too. Like there are guys that don't throw traditional 4-seam fastballs at all, and you would look at it and go, okay, that's a fastball, but it's really a sinker, or it's really a cutter or a 2-seam, and it's just about life on your fastball. For example, Taijuan Walker for the first time in his career last year threw more sinkers than he did 4-seams, and the reason that he did that is because his velocity has dipped. His velocity was down to like 92, 93 last year. He recognizes that, and I think a lot of any pitching coach with any self-worth would recognize that. Once your velocity dips, you need to be able to locate and throw stuff with movement.